All right, guys. Good morning. How's everyone doing? Welcome to Tuesday, September 21st. Should be an interesting day. Nice little, you guys know, a little bit of a market dip yesterday, followed by a late day bounce. Now, I started talking to the chat this morning. I think over the next week, you got to head into this market without any expectations. You can't, wake up in the morning, see green, and say, this is the bottom. I trust this completely. You just can't trust anything right now. So you take it with a grain of salt and you play it where you can. But right now, the continuation's near impossible to know what's going to happen. That's what I was saying yesterday. It's near impossible to know exactly what happens here. Right now, we're getting a bounce, and the bounce is off some really strong technical levels, very strong technical levels. So that's why you got to bounce, guys. If you look at, excuse me, if you're not in my Discord chat, if you look at the community part of this of YouTube, this is what I posted yesterday. So we were talking about this in the Discord yesterday. So right here, if I can make this bigger, we were talking about how the NASDAQ has this August 19th level where the SPY was at. SPY bounced off the 100. We'll talk about this in the actual stream. And the NASDAQ had that 019 level. So NASDAQ off the 019 level, the August 19th low, that was a strong technical level that we were spotting, and we bounced right off of it. And then the SPY right off the 100 SMA. So both of these markets bouncing off strong technical levels. Is it hold up? That's another story. But the technical levels held up, and that's important. So we'll look at those today. We'll look at where we bounced. We'll look at some other stocks that were bouncing. And we'll talk a little bit about the economic calendar and some of the moves I've made. So let's go ahead and prepare for today. It's a nice bounce, but I wouldn't trust it 100%. I wouldn't go crazy. I did take some calls around. So yesterday, we'll talk about that in a second. So here we go. Let's go to the schedule. And part of the schedule is the moves I made, so I'll save it for that. So as always, futures, NASDAQ. You got it for the Evergrande, whatever you want. I don't know how they pronounce it. You can look at the. This was the Asian market last night. Let me go real quick. So Asian market tried to bounce a little bit, not much. That has sort of to do with the China news. So futures, NASDAQ, S&P, Dow, as always, some important levels that it's holding yesterday, and you need to be aware of these. I mean, this is crucial. You need to know where the market's bouncing. If you're not aware of, you should be able to wake up every morning and know exactly where these markets are. If you're not, then you need to spend maybe a little bit more time at, looking at the NASDAQ, the Dow, the S&P. You want to know exactly where these things are. Like, I know that the NASDAQ bounced off the August 19th level, trying to bounce off that. I know the SPY bounced off the 100 SMA, trying to bounce off that, right? And I know the Dow is below its 100, and it's the weaker of the few in regards to SMA. So that stuff you want to make sure you have as second nature. Every day you want to be looking at these futures. So we'll look at the futures, and if there's nothing wrong with you just coming here. If you come to the live streams to do it, then yeah, that's great. I would love to have you guys here. So come to the live streams. Make sure you know about these futures. Make sure you know where they're bouncing off of, because it affects all the stocks. The only reason that stocks bounced yesterday was because the S&P 500 bounced off the 100 SMA. So we'll look at that. FOMC tomorrow. That's huge. Fed meeting. Jerome Powell talking. Going to be very interesting to see what happens there. My moves, we'll go over some of the moves I made yesterday, some of the trades I took. All the trades that I took yesterday were profitable, which is very nice. And it helped me pad some of the losses in my long-term portfolio. So obviously my shares were down, but the trades that I took, actually one of them was negative, small negative, very small. But this morning it should be up nicely, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. After that, some bounces to be looking at. So if you guys remember the live stream schedule yesterday, we talked about Nvidia to 208. We are right at 208. So very clean bounce off 208. And also, if I pull this up 1 second, bear with me for a minute here. Let me go ahead and pull this up just to sort of outline how this looks before. I'll just pull it up, and then once we get into Nvidia, I'll be ready for it. Just preparing for that part of the live stream here. Yeah, it's hard to find. It's too far back. I don't want to waste your guys' time here. There's a chart with Nvidia I wanted to show you guys. I should have got it ready before. To show you like what I was watching on Nvidia before and how you sort of could tell that 208 was going to come in. But I'll just do it live with you guys. So Nvidia, Facebook, 350, some really nice holds. Tesla also, very nice hold at 730, making some stair-stepping patterns. And Goldman Sachs. So Nvidia, Facebook, Tesla, and Goldman Sachs all look like very nice charts if the market can hold up. That's a big if. So if the market holds up, if we get some more continuation today, all of these stocks I think can continue as well. But that's a very big question. That is a very big question, if they can. So that is what we'll have to figure out today. I'm just going to try to find this chart for you guys. So that's the schedule. It's going to be an interesting day. I think you go into today with trust issues, as I said earlier. You watch the price action for the first 5 to 10 minutes, see what it's doing, see what the market wants to do. Yeah, we'll go over BABA as well, and then try to make a decision. So let's go ahead and start with the NASDAQ. And the first thing I want to show you guys on the NASDAQ is I'm actually going to start on the short-term time frames. Because if you guys remember, I made a video about finding those intraday reversals on the NASDAQ. And, sometimes you try to find them like in the morning and you think you're trying to catch a bottom early morning. But this was sort of before we bounced, right? Maybe let's go to like the first few hours of the market. So on a day where we were going to intraday reverse, where we were going to find support on a reversal intraday, we would have broken like this level right here, right? So this was the level we were watching. So we had the pre-market lows turn into resistance, and until you got above 15,052, there was no reason to think that this market was going to reverse. So if you wait for the market, it slows down, you start to look for that reversal here, right? But the reversal only comes when you break above some of these pivot points. So I make that example because if we go back, let's go to the last days where we actually did reverse intraday. That's Wednesday and Thursday of last week. On Wednesday and Thursday of last week, let me go to the 5-minute. You guys can see we broke out of some important pivot points intraday, right? So we sort of had this little resistance here. We broke above it. We started to move higher. On yesterday, you never got that yesterday, and those are the days where you can just tell the reversal is just not coming until this is just a huge move later in the day. But like a mid-afternoon reversal just never was showing itself yesterday. We never made higher highs and we never made higher lows. So on a day where you just never see higher highs come in and you never see higher lows come in, you just cannot chase the upside. That's the same thing that happened on Friday of last week. So if I go to Friday of last week, I guess it's just getting used to the price action. But on Friday of last week, guys, look at Friday of last week. There was not a single time that the market made a higher low. Every single bounce that came in was lower than the previous bounce. So you have this destruction in the morning, small bounce, obviously lower high. Destruction, bounce, lower high, destruction, bounce, Double top, never got higher. Destruction, downside, lower high, all day. I mean, this is in the after hours anyway. So this is where you ended the day, right? So not a single time on Friday did you make a higher low. So on a day like this, when you never see a higher low come in, don't look for calls. You're just wasting, it's just not worth it. So here is yesterday, right? This is the exact same story. Look at yesterday. We moved higher. You don't trust this move. Never trust this move. So this is the first few minutes of the market, right? This is the first 10 minutes of the market. This is a very dangerous time to be rushing yourself into positions. Do not trust these moves in the morning. Very dangerous. And on top of that, if you just looked at the price action, this was just a big downtrend anyway. But if you didn't look at this, very dangerous time to be trading. Do not trade during this time. Unless you are, very experienced and you're just taking scalps and that's all you care about, then, maybe you can do that. But for the average person that is getting into trading, please do not take positions during this time. Fall back lower. You try to break back above pre-market resistance or support. You fail it, and you make lower highs all day. This entire move, some people may be trying to catch bounces here on bottoms, but not a single time did it make a high or low. And the only time I would have trusted this thing is if we made this move back above this high and started to really start moving. Now, of course, we got this push late in the day. We got a higher low or a higher high here. Nice little breakthrough, but that's a pretty strong move off a very strong support level. So I mean, you could have made a late day move here, which I did personally, a little bit more risky. But for that intraday reversal, I'm sort of talking about that intraday reversal where we actually reverse and continue the rest of the day higher. You need to see those higher highs and higher lows intraday to spot a trend change. So the last 2 days, Friday and yesterday, we never got trend changes. You could consider this a trend change, but we also know that our trust issues have to be pretty high this morning because I don't know exactly if you can trust that bounce. Now, back to the higher time frames to look at where we bounced, why we bounced, what's going on here, right? So on the higher time frames, on the daily chart, the level we bounced off of is the August 19 lows right here. This is August 19. This is the lows. This is also right around here, some support from late July. So this level was a level that we've been watching. We've been watching these 08-19 lows, the August 19 lows. Those are the closest lows we have when it's disregarding the moving averages, right? So we disregard the 20, disregard the 50 SMA. The next low we had during this dip was this low right here, and we are holding that low. So, guys, basically all you have to do today, if you do not want to trade and you want to try to catch more downside, if you're trying to catch more downside, I would wait until this thing pulls back down and breaks these lows. If this thing breaks these lows, I have to assume that you get more downside, maybe to these next lows here at the 100 SMA, right? So you have these lows here right around this 14,540, right in this area. I would have to assume that you come back down to that if we break below these August 19 lows and this 50 or this 14,830 level. That would be what I'd be watching. We'll watch to see if we can hold there. If we can't, we're probably coming back down to the 100. If we do, if somehow we get, if somehow this bounce really starts coming in, then watch to see how we perform with this 50 SMA. We're finding rejection off it right now, 15,167. 15,167. That is literally right here. So we are rejecting right off that 50 SMA. I'm actually going to put that on my charts today so I know intraday. 50 SMA on the daily. So I'm going to keep that right there. 15,167. That's obviously going to change intraday, but it won't change much from that number. So that's going to be the 20 or the 50 SMA here on the daily chart is right around that 15,167. I'm definitely going to be watching that to see if it acts as resistance. It is right now. We'll have to see if it can get above. If it can get above, that would be pretty interesting, actually. That would be pretty interesting. So let's see. 50 SMA resistance today, guys. and 14,830, the August 19th lows as support. That is what you are watching today. Make sure you watch those two levels. ES. So the ES is bouncing off the 100 SMA. It did drop below August 19 lows. See, this is the August 19th low right here. It did drop below. It wicked below, but look at the body of the candles. Actually closing pretty nice support there. You can see, I actually would probably consider moving this here. Look at the bodies of this candle. Very nice hold at this August 19th low as well. So, August 19th, here's September 22nd to September 21st. Very nice bounce here off these levels. We wicked down to the 100 SMA, found support there, and we are pushing higher. Now, of course, I don't know if you trust this just yet. You got to watch the 50 SMA's resistance up here. That is right around 44.30, right? So 44.30 is the 50 SMA. That would be the overall resistance that I would be watching, if we can even get to that. That's about that's pretty big increase to get us up to that level. But we shall see. I think you had some economic news this morning. I'm not sure if it was at 8:15. No, it's at 8:30. We have some home building stuff coming out. It's, building permits, housing starts. That comes out at 8:30. But yeah, so nice little bottom here at 0819, 100 SMA bounce on the SPY. Guys, I mean, all you can do today is you can see in the short term, if this thing starts to break down, and it does not, if this thing starts to break down and it drops below yesterday's lows, then you guys know that this is just a big dead cat bounce and we could be coming right back down. So that's what I'd be watching. Maybe watch yesterday's highs, the pre-market highs here. Or not pre-market, the early morning highs on the SPY, and then maybe you watch yesterday's open. Let me go to the 1 minute chart on the SPY to give us some identical, sort of perfect numbers here. So you opened here. What was the open? The open of this candle was 43.54. So here's your opening level on SPY. Here's your high of day on SPY yesterday. Not high of day, but morning high. And then here is your pre-market support right around here. So you can watch some of these levels today. I'm going to take that line off. So you can watch some of these levels, right? So we're bouncing actually right now off yesterday's morning high. You can see a little bit of a bounce coming in right now. Look at that bounce. Perfect. Just right on the number. So watch that. Opening levels are around 43.54. And then you have the pre-market support around 43.40. So those will be some levels that I will watch today. And if they start to break down all of them, then we're probably going to come right back down here to yesterday's lows. If not, if we start to bounce off this, watch 50 SMA to the upside. YM is the Dow Jones. Mike Jones. And the Dow is doing almost the exact same thing. Bouncing off some previous structure points, definitely below the August levels. August levels are all the way up here, but definitely finding some support here in these levels that we talked about yesterday. I have not touched this chart today. So this chart that you see with these green demand zones and green support areas has not been touched today. So we talked about this yesterday, and you can see the market respects technical levels, right? This is just if you didn't know this was support here, I could have just drew a random green box here, and you'd say why? How did you know it would bounce here? Well, guys, it just bounces off these previous technical levels. So some nice support coming in here back in Mike Jones, back in May, 510, 517, 519. So the May levels bouncing right off of that yesterday. So very nice on the Dow. Of course, same exact thing, guys. 100 SMA is resistance now to the upside. And we'll have to see if this is a dead cat. But you come into today without any expectations. You come into today taking profits quick. You come into today with trust issues, and you guys will be fine. You come into today with risk management. Maybe you lose $100, you lose 1% of your portfolio if you're wrong about something. Nothing wrong with that. There will be better times in this market. This is not the market to be going balls to the wall trying to make $1 million in a day. This is not the market, guys. I mean, this is the time to be defensive. This is the time to to calm down, to protect your money. This is not the time. You guys, some people just don't understand that. Some people think that every day in the market is you got to make 50 grand every single day in the market. But sometimes you got to relax, or you're gonna blow yourself up. But anyways, that's the market, guys. Those are the moving averages. That's the Nasdaq, the Dow, the S&P. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. If you did, make sure to press the like button for me on this channel. And now we're going to get into I'm gonna just quickly show you. I mean, you guys already know, but right here, guys. Tomorrow, FOMC statements. Fed Chair Jerome Powell tomorrow as well. This is definitely the market to go nuts. Yeah, sure. If you want to lose all your money, great, lose it. So FOMC, Fed Chair Jerome Powell news. That is Wednesday. So we'll see. We will see what happens there. Yeah, if you guys want to YOLO yourself away and think you know where the market's going, then power to you. I will not take that away from you. If you think you know where the market's going right here, then you're crazy, man. So which time frame were we watching the market just now? Yeah, it's the daily chart. All right, so my moves yesterday. So yesterday I woke up with some SPY calls. With some SPY puts. So I closed those SPY puts right near in the morning. I sort of closed them on this push here, which obviously I regret a little bit. I closed them like pretty early in the morning. Here it is here. So here's my plays. Here we go. Okay, so at 9:32, so early in the morning, 9:32. So sold my SPY puts up. It was about 130. I think I got some slippage when I was starting to. I think I got some slippage when I was going to sell because the market was moving up pretty quick. So I think I ended up actually seeing the brokerage after, and it was only like 130. So a good day on the SPY puts. Closed them yesterday early morning. Held them over the weekend. Very happy about it. I mean, we talked about this Friday live stream. The market was not looking good. Everything we talked about yesterday too. Everything was lining up for downside on Friday. It was very clear. So took those SPY puts, sold them. This play I am down on right now, but I am in a Goldman Sachs 395 call, and I'm in it because I want to see what happens if Jerome Powell says something about interest rates tomorrow. So I'm in a bank play because Goldman Sachs has fallen to its 100 SMA, which I'll look at with you guys, but which I like. But I want to be in it with very small size, $100, just in case we get some type of bank move tomorrow. So I'm in that with this really small size. It's less than 1% of my portfolio, and I want to have that. So I'm in that. I'll talk a little bit more about it later. BABA took some puts around 11:16 yesterday. The thing just sold off all day. I think I took like 30% on those. Next, took some SPY calls at 3:37 p.m. yesterday. Those are up probably very nicely this morning. I'm going to assume that I go from 100% on the put side to 100% on the call side within a matter of 2 days, which is pretty awesome. So we'll see. Just playing a relief bounce off the 100 SMA, a huge imbalance of put and call open interest, just admitting that there's not too much really strict analysis behind it, besides that we're bouncing off the 100, and the market is down more than 2%, and I'm looking to see if I can get a relief bounce into tomorrow morning, which is happening right now, right? So that's awesome. So that is that. Those were some of my plays yesterday, guys. If you want to get those every day live as I take them, you can go down below in the description, and you can join the Discord chat. So with that said, let's go ahead and look at some plays that I am watching today. First one is going to be NVIDIA. NVIDIA is quite interesting. If you guys watch the stream, if you've been around the channel, you guys know that this level on my chart has been here for, I want to say, about 2 weeks now. This level has been on my charts for about 2 weeks now. I have not changed this chart. I've continued to watch these previous highs, and I've been continued to seeing if this pullback occurs. And right now, guys, the pullback is occurring. Everything that I've been waiting for and being patient for is occurring right now. So, does that mean I just forget it now and don't do anything? No. I want to take action on this, but I have to be careful. So I have to wait to see how this market does. I'm not going to be taking upside on NVIDIA without knowing where the market goes. If you take upside on NVIDIA today, this morning, right when market opens, you're basically gambling, man, and you just don't know where this market goes. This market could easily fall back over. It could be a very strong dead cat bounce, and we could have a lower low come in today or tomorrow, and NVIDIA is definitely not going to hold 208 if that market makes a dead cat bounce and moves lower. So I'm going to have to be patient. I'm going to have to wait. There may be a chance that I miss this if I'm not aggressive enough. If this market really starts to bounce and I don't trust it when I should trust it, that's going to be a tough spot to be in, right? That's going to be a decision that a lot of people have to make today. Do you trust this bounce? And sometimes the people that don't trust it are the ones that miss out, or sometimes the people that don't trust it are the ones laughing at the end of the day because they did not get trapped into a bull trap. So it's a very difficult situation today, guys. We're just going to have to see how the price action is intraday, how the market bounces. That's really all I could say because you just do not know at this point. So if the market bounces, if that strength comes in, I'm definitely going to be watching NVIDIA off of this 208 level. Off this 208, very nice previous highs, very nice support, and not only that, 50 SMA here as support, very, very clean. Definitely watch this 50 SMA here, this bounce on NVIDIA. That is what I am watching today, for sure. Next one is going to be Facebook. Facebook, really nice pullback. Really nice pullback. Yeah, maybe Mr. TNT. Just don't go too heavy into. I recommend everyone not to go into a day with like an extreme opinion. Don't go into a single day of trading with like just I'm 100% right. I know exactly what's gonna happen. Right? That'll kill you. You can go into a day with like an idea of what you think could happen, of like both sides. You can see, okay, I could definitely see a trap occur here. This could be a nice little trap for the bulls, and we can move back over. Or you could say, flip side, maybe the 100 SMA is really strong, and the dip buyers are going to continue to come in here at the 100 SMA, and maybe the market is overreacting. Maybe the market just comes right back higher, bounces off the 100 on the SPY, and all the people that continue to short this thing are the ones that are going to get trapped because it's just going to continue to move higher, right? So I could tell you both scenarios here, and you probably are thinking in your mind, oh, wait a second, okay, maybe that could happen, right? So it's just not worth, guys, coming into a single day thinking you know what's going to happen. It's so dangerous as a trader, in my opinion. This is all my opinion. It's very dangerous to go into a single day with a very strict and very strong idea of what you think is going to happen, because I promise you guys, there's going to be times where you're just totally wrong. And those times where you're totally wrong and you go in really heavy because you have such a strong conviction about it are the times that you're going to lose a lot of money. And those are the times you're going to wish you were a little bit more neutral headed and neutral sided of what could occur. So that's my rant for you today. Please, during these times in the market, I think it's very dangerous to go into a single day thinking you know exactly what's going to happen. But, I'm not trying to call anyone out. I'm a very kind guy. I'm not someone that calls people out. I just, I want to see you guys. I want to get my point across and, help people. So, yeah, Mr. TNT, love you, man. I want to make sure people know that, and don't go into days like, that ego can kill you. Having an ego in the market, trust me, I think the market does not give a shit about your ego, right? But anyways, let's go ahead and continue. That's my talk. That's my TED talk for you today. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. So here's Facebook, 350. Bounce here, 350. Bounce here, 350. Yesterday, bounce, 350. So, does this bounce? As you guys can see, the candles are not, they're not signifying a bounce just yet. By no means. You guys can see it's just straight downside. Really strong, really nasty. So, do I say, you buy this today off this bounce? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You wait for some consolidation. You wait for a few green days. You wait for maybe like a little bit of bullish confirmation. Then maybe you can take that play with the stop below 350, right? That would be something I'd watch. You could also, if the market turns over, you could also be heading right back down to this 100 SMA, which comes in at around 347. So, these are levels to watch, guys. These are levels to put on your charts. It doesn't mean you go out and buy these today. It doesn't mean you go and put, your whole portfolio on some Facebook calls off this level today. But it's something you watch, something you make sure you keep on your charts. You watch the 350. You see if it starts to hold there. If it does, then you could try to push back higher, try to take a play. Very easy stop loss below 350. So that is something I'll be watching today as well, as long as with NVIDIA. Next one, we're going to be looking at Tesla. So as you guys know, Tesla has been stair-stepping all the last, 3 or 4 months, just making very clean stair-stepping patterns, right? So here are my stair steps, 1, 2, and 3 steps. Here's your first one. You find resistance, you break through it, you start to bounce off of this support, right? Market took a little bit of a hit. Tesla took a little bit of a hit here, so it did fall back below, held this moving average. You move back higher, you break the previous resistance, you hold it as support, you move higher. So this is your next step, right? This 730 level, next step, because it's your previous resistance. Here was your previous resistance at 700, previous resistance at 730, and now you have previous resistance at 760. So here are your stair steps. These are your highs. Now, every time you see the market pull back, you want to see it hold those previous highs. And you can see yesterday we did do that. So we did hold that previous high on Tesla yesterday at 730. So right here, you guys can see 730, holding that level, holding the 20 SMA, holding that previous stair step. If I go to the shorter term time frame, you guys can see here is that stair step from the daily chart. This is the green area right here. You can see it right here. The green area that you're looking at on your charts is the exact same area from the daily chart right here. So it definitely showed some support there. It definitely showed that there was some level of support at that 730 area. Now, you can see the 740s. You can see, look at some of this resistance at 740s. I see you guys talking about 740s in the chat. This 740s, you guys see these 3 wicks. Those are some pretty nasty wicks. So let's go to if we go to the 10-day 30, no, you're not going to see it on there. Let's go to the 20-day hourly. You're going to see it here. So here's the 20-day hourly. You can see, look at these 3 resistance levels here on the left. 1, 2, 3. You can see some resistance there today at 740. So watch the 740s. That's some shorter term resistance. If you get through it, for sure watch the 760s. That's a rock solid level. And to the downside, definitely the 730s. And if it gets below that, which you would not want it to see do that, then you're watching the 700s here, guys, on Tesla. But yeah, Tesla's a volatile beast. I don't trade it much anymore, guys. It just, I don't know. It's just the glory days on Tesla were right here. This was the glory days. This was just, anyone that remembers the real Tesla in the chat, you guys know how different it was back then. Anyone that just started trading, there's an HLBS partnership with Amazon. Someone in the chat just said that in the Discord. Anyone that knows Tesla back here, this was the glory days. Tesla would gap up every single day. I mean, over, oh, Jesus, look at this period of time. Over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days. Over 7 days, Tesla went up 32%. 32% in 7 days. It's absolutely insane. That's like 5% a day Tesla would go up. And it was just straight up. I mean, look at the candles. It was green open to green close, full-bodied candles. Just straight up all day. Beasts. Beast of moves. This move here, 40% in 7 days. It was nuts. I mean, this was like you buy $1,000 of Tesla calls and you're making 20K in like a week. It was crazy. It was awesome. I mean, I loved it. I just continued to trade Tesla all year. Made a pretty good amount of money during this period, but Tesla's just not the same, man. It's not the same. And if you trade Tesla like you used to, you're gonna get burned. You're gonna get burned, and I know people that have already gotten burned. So if you trade Tesla like this is like it used to, a lot of people intraday think like they still have that Tesla mindset, and they still like think that this is possible. Like these days, if you used to trade Tesla, a lot of people still think that these Tesla days are still possible now. I don't think they are. I do not think you're going to see Tesla move like this. Unless something crazy happens, unless I'm just totally off. The stock split affects it, the liquidity, the float, the outstanding shares. I don't think that it's possible for Tesla to make just humongous moves. I mean, this was look at these gap ups. Look at this period right here. Look at these gap ups. This is the 5th of January to the 8th of January. Tesla went up 20%. So 6, 7, 8, 3 days. That's like 7.5% per day, right? It's like 7% per day. So just crazy, man. Crazy. But Tesla, let's see what happens. Pretty choppy around here, guys. See if it holds 730 today on this stair step. Goldman Sachs. Yeah, mRNA went a little crazy recently. Yeah, and Nvidia definitely not the same after the split. Totally agree there. Nvidia before the split, running up into the split, that was crazy. This period right here, was it this period or this? Yeah, this period right here. This was like just every day Nvidia up right before that split occurred, right? So pretty crazy. This move from the 18th to the 7th of July. How much did Nvidia go up during that period? 52% in 50 days. Crazy. So that was pretty crazy on Nvidia. All right, Goldman Sachs. This was another play that I took yesterday. Upstart definitely a beast. Upstart definitely the next beast. Upstart. What did Upstart do? I keep on getting distracted here, but whatever. Upstart. Yeah, look at this thing. This thing's just scary, though. You know Upstart's going to go down. This one went up 132%. This move was 200%. And this move is... So this move, percentage-wise, guys, this move is not as big as the recent ones. Just to let you know. This is something that we were charting in the live streams, I think, but definitely in the Discord chat. We were talking about the percentage moves that Upstart's on, right? Because these moves, this is from this pre-earnings low to this high, that's 200%. From this low here to this high, that's 134%. From the pre-earnings low to this high, that's 130%. So this move is the same percent as this move, right? So it's definitely not, it's doing the same thing it's done before. It's doing the same thing it has done before. It's the same percentage point move. So is this the top, right? Is the 130% move the same as this one? Is that starting to show the top? Do we start to get that pullback? On both Upstart spikes. Now, things could change. I don't know if the company has changed. But on both Upstart spikes, it has retraced to around the 61.8 on that one. And yeah, just around the 61.8 retracement on that one. So a 61.8 retracement on this spike would take you back to around $200 a share. So about $100 lower a share, which is possible. I'm not going to say it's not. So yeah, just keep an eye on Upstart. It definitely will unravel one day. It will definitely unravel one day. How do I know the percentage? It's on the line tool on Thinkorswim right here. You probably can't see it on your chart, but that little box, the third one down, says 126. That's the percentage move. Goldman Sachs. I'm liking Goldman Sachs. I like it was down 4.5% yesterday on Goldman Sachs, and it was it's holding right around this 100 SMA. I wanted to take a small shot on it because I wanted to see if it can hold this 100 SMA. Also, I want to see if the banks get any type of hope, any type of bounce from Jerome Powell tomorrow. So XLF is the financial sector. You guys can see the XLF gap down as well. Potentially holding some of these lows here, the XLF. If the XLF can recover from this gap down tomorrow or yesterday, maybe with some Jerome Powell love, maybe he gives the banks a little bit of love tomorrow. That is why I put $100 in a Goldman Sachs call into that meeting. So we'll see. I could be totally wrong. I'm just letting you guys know what I did. I did do that. 100 SMA, hoping to see some technical support, and then maybe a Jerome Powell pump tomorrow morning. Not a solid play, but just a small shot that I wanted to take. Netflix, and then we got to get into some of the members stuff here. So you guys can see Netflix definitely is starting to lose it. You guys can see you're starting to fall lower. Yesterday was a weak day, and what you can see from yesterday, if I go to the 20-day hourly, you can see that we rejected this previous resistance right here. Made a little bit of a head and shoulders pattern, I believe. You're starting to fail here at 590 2 times. So watch 590 and then watch the 566 because we did hold this 566 as support. Some previous support here on the 4-hour chart. If I go to the 4-hour, you can see a lot of support in this area. Previous highs acted as support yesterday. So if you're looking at Netflix, watch the downside if it breaks 566, or if it can break through this 590, maybe you get a move back higher. So that's the channel to watch. 590, 566, that's the channel to watch on Netflix. All right, how are we looking on the views and the likes here? 516. We're losing people, guys. We need help. We need to get to 1,000 people. I don't know how I'm going to get it, but hopefully one day we'll get 1,000 people in here. But shout out to anyone that does come. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Hopefully you guys enjoy the streams. We're going to get into some of the tickers that the members want to see. It's pretty light today, and that's okay with me. So if you guys want to see anything, type it in the chat. I'm actually going to take some of the stuff you want to look at today. But I'm only going to look at stuff that I think has value. I'm not going to be looking at penny stocks today. I just don't think that. I don't think that's where your mind needs to be. Personally, if you want to go, I'm sure there's other channels on YouTube, and I'm not taking anything away from people. I'm just not your penny stock guy. I'm not your penny stock guy. Can't really give you good advice on that either. Can't really give you good advice on that either. So TMO, this is for YT, Thermo Fisher. So TMO, a little bit of a gap up yesterday, huh? Look at that. So yeah, I mean, YT, I'd just be careful this gap up. I wonder what happened. What caused this gap up? I don't know what happened yesterday. Apple? I'll go over Apple. Apple, Qualcomm. I already went over NVIDIA. Do Apple, Qualcomm, Snap, Boeing, DraftKings. Let me write some of these down. And I got to go over earnings real quick. Apple, Qualcomm, Snap. I'll go over DraftKings and Penn real quick. All right, I got my few. All right, so TMO, big move yesterday. This is on Friday. So big move on Friday. Pulled back some. YT, this is a tough one, man, because you don't really know if it. I mean, it may just pull back to these retest levels. I would only feel comfortable trading this if it pulls back here, because you're pulling back to a retest level and the 20 SMA on the 4-hour. That's probably where I'd be looking. YT. Baba, we went over. Did we go over Baba? Baba just getting crushed, man. Chinese market on yesterday. Chinese market yesterday got crushed. The Asian market. So you can see that's why we gapped down yesterday morning. Big gap down yesterday morning. Just sold off all day. Took my profits on this a little bit of a pump later in the day. And we'll see what happens today. So we'll see if it holds below this low here. I'm going to watch that low. We'll see these pre-market highs to see if it holds below there. But, I mean, Baba in general, I would not be a buyer of Baba. I would not be a buyer of Baba. I would definitely not. I would definitely look the other way right now. There's too much stuff going on with the Asian markets. Very, very, it's like a glass floor over there, guys. It's very shaky, I feel. I don't know exactly what's going on in their markets. At least that's the portrayal that we get here, is that it's a very shaky market right now. So just be careful with these stocks. I probably wouldn't be. I don't think you're smarter than everyone else if you're buying long call options here. I think people are not ready for that. So I think you're gonna have a time. There might be a better time to buy the leaps. If you're buying leaps on Baba, I think there might be a better time. I don't think this is just quite yet the time. I just don't think it shows you any light at the end of the tunnel just yet. Wait for some kind of light at the end of the tunnel, because right now it ain't showing it. That's just my opinion. Yeah, we have Adobe and FedEx earnings. We can look at those too. So that's Baba, that's YT. Morales, I'll go over Stitch Fix real SFX. Did you mean Stitch Fix, Morales? So Stitch Fix on the daily chart just hasn't come back to life. That's really what it comes down to. Stitch Fix just has not come back to life. It has earnings today. Yes, today. You are starting to hold support at this previous gap up, right? You can see this huge gap up that occurred. You're holding at it. So is this support? Maybe. Maybe. But, I mean, Stitch Fix has just been under some serious pressure. If you play it today, you're just gambling into earnings, basically. So I would maybe wait after earnings and then think if you can take it off after earnings. Apple. Really want to see this hold here on Apple today, 142. Keep an eye on that. That's what I was sharing with the chat this morning, the 142 level. Sort of right around these previous highs, right at 142. You did break this uptrend, so that uptrend is no longer valid. But you do have this previous support at 142. If that breaks, you're going to come down to the 100 SMA. If the 100 SMA breaks, you're going to come down to this 135 area. So those are some levels to watch. Today, 141, 142, 100 SMA, and then 135. And you can see we did break the uptrend. So on a strong market, Apple holds up. On a weak market, Apple moves down more. Qualcomm, very ugly breakdown of this support level. Very ugly breakdown. So tough to say, what happens, but I will say that we are holding support at this gap area right around here, this 130 area. You can see we found previous resistance in the past. We are turning it into support right now. So that is your support for now, 130. Keep an eye on that if you're in Qualcomm. After that, these lows right around this 124, 125 would be your next level. But a very clean crack below this 140 level. This was some previous resistance. It held support for some time, and we finally gave it up. If you push back higher, this is going to turn into resistance once again on Qualcomm. So 140 is now resistance. 130 is your strong support. You need to hold there, and you need to get above 140 if you're bullish. You can see ultimately, I remember us talking about this chart. Ultimately, Qualcomm never got through this gap area. We were talking about how Qualcomm could be a great play over this gap into the 162s, but we just never were able to break this gap area right here at 151, 152. Just too strong. That's Qualcomm. Next, Snapchat. We're going to go over these quick, guys. Snapchat, this is a crucial level. That's really all I have to say. This $70, if this $70 breaks, you're coming quickly back down to the 63, 64s. This is a huge gap on the chart, and if you fail this support, you are going to come into this gap, and it might be a little bit ugly. So watch Snapchat. If this thing fails 70, you're going to come back down into this level here, these previous highs, which are just around the 64 to 63 level. There's a big gap here on the daily chart if you break 70. If you do not break 70 and you hold this, maybe you can push back to the 80s. But 70, crucial level on Snap. That's a must hold. Boeing. Boeing is dead money. I say it every day. Don't put your money in Boeing right now unless you are very, very patient and you have literally nothing else to do with it. I just don't see the upside for Boeing just yet. Airlines continue to be under duress. Yesterday, there was an article that came out, if I can pull it up, that there was tequila bottles found in the, I don't know if it's true, there was tequila bottles found in the Air Force One plane. So right here, 2 empty tequila bottles were found on under construction Air Force One planes, prompting an investigation by Boeing. So, I mean, just Boeing just does not stop being in the news. I don't know what's going on with that stock or that company, but yeah, I'm not a buyer of Boeing here. I mean, I know it's at a weekly support level. I'll give it to you. You know, I know people are watching that, but it's just not strong enough. I would wait for something to happen. DraftKings. I'll go over DraftKings and Penn. We'll go over the drinking on the job. Yep, it's fantastic. Drinking while building a plane. Smart. Especially the president's plane. So, here we go. So, you got 55, 56 right here. You guys can see previous hold right there. One. You want to see this hold. If you're in DraftKings, 55, 56, hold that level, needs to hold. That would have to be your stair step. If it does not, you guys can already see what's happening here. This is a very big potential head and shoulders formation on DraftKings. 1, 2, 3, head and shoulders. If this fails, I would assume that this moves pretty far lower. Maybe back down to this 52s. But yeah, 55 needs to hold, 55, 56. Or that's a pretty nasty head and shoulders there. Penn National. Penn just, couldn't do it, man. It sucks. It sucks to see Penn not be able to do it. But they wasn't able to break the 85 level. It is trying to hold this previous support here at 73. So watch this previous support at 73s. This is the previous resistance here. Seeing if it can hold. Little break and retest maybe. Need to get through 85 though. The 85 level is just too hard. Finally, Microsoft, before I need to get to the Discord chat, guys. Microsoft, very easy. Daily chart. Watch this 50 SMA. Watch this 290 support. See if it holds today. That is where I will leave you. NASDAQ. Trying to hold up. All right, guys. That's going to be it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this live stream. If you did, please press the like button for me. It helps me out a ton. Helps me grow the live streams. Share them with your friends. Share them with anyone you can. Let me know. Let me know if you have any questions. Shout out to MSI, the sponsor of this stream. If you guys want to use the code on the bottom of on the bottom of the right side of your screen, you'll see use code. That is that's my last name. If you want to use that for 10% off anything on the MSI store, make sure to go over to their website and use that that code. So thank you guys again. Hope everyone has a great day. Play it safe today, guys. Just, there's no reason to become a millionaire today on a day that is so questionable. So I hope you guys have a great day. Hope to see you guys tomorrow. And peace out, guys. If you want to join the Discord chat, make sure to check it out. And finally, if you want to support the stream, there's that join button down below. You get the first. Oh, there you go. Eric joined. Shout out to Eric. Appreciate you, Eric. Eric Meyer, becoming a priority member. So if you become a priority member on the stream, You get the Excel sheet, and you get to put your ticker in every day, and we'll look at it every day on the live stream. So shout out to you, Eric. Hope you have a great day, and everyone else that's here, have a great day. I'll talk to you guys later.